Okay, so I thought some of you might be wondering how this riser thing works. Um, so I thought I'd do a quick little video here to show you, since this is kind of an unusual situation. So here's the riser. It's actually two separate pieces, which I'll show you in a little bit how the two pieces work. There's a left and a right half. One has to go on first, and the other one fits down in it. There's two chains and four binders, two on each side, pulling to the front and the back. It's got the slot here, and that slot, you actually put the chain through the slot. You have a little bit of excess chain there hanging through. And so we call this short chaining. You're using one chain, but you're using it for two different securements. So I have the securement from here down to the rail, and this is a connection we call a teardrop. If you have room, you would put this higher up on the chain, and so it would look more like a teardrop. But I didn't have the room, so I just didn't mess with it. This is a binder. This binder is called a ratchet binder because it ratchets theoretically. You know, it ratchets as you tighten it, or you flip the lever and it loosens. So the way you do this is you set your binder, you set your riser where you want it to be, run your chain front and back, and then you use your binders to tighten it up. So the binders take up the slack between the chain coming off of the riser, chain coming off of the trailer, the rail, binders in the middle. You tighten the binder up, it squeezes together, and it tightens that up. And so you got two chains, have a chain this side and a chain on the other side, and there's four binders, two binders on each side. So you have to tighten them kind of as a unit. You can't just put this binder on and crank it down, because it will actually pull this thing to the front, and it'll actually pull it up. It'll pull, because it's pulling this thing down, and it's pulling it this way, and it's pulling it this way. So it will actually pull this thing up and out of alignment. So you have to tighten these four as a unit. So you put the binders on, tighten it a little bit till it's just sort of snug, and then you go to the other side, do your chains and your binders on that side. Same thing, you tighten them up, just get them kind of hand tight more or less, and then you go back and you can tighten up the rest of them. It doesn't have to be massively tight, because you're not holding down any freight. You just wanted this thing to stay upright. And so if you hit the brakes real hard, or there's some kind of an accident or something, you don't want this thing moving. Okay, so here is how you loosen this thing. So you have to set this binder, flip the lever and it will loosen, flip it the other way and it tightens. So I'm going to loosen this, and as I ratchet it, both of those hooks, they're connected in there by a kind of a screw attachment deal. They are loosening. It's loosening this binder, this ratchet binder. So I can get the chain out from under it, and then I can take this chain off. Or not. It's too tight. I don't have enough slack here. So release that binder. Release this chain. I can pull through this slack, these extra links that are inside this notch that separates the two halves of the chain, so you can use one chain as two separate chains. We call that short chaining. We use one chain to do two different points of securement. And then get all my extra chain out of here. The way this riser works is it is connected here in this J-track. So to get it out of here, the only way to get it out without snapping it off or somehow snapping the trailer frame, you have to pull it up, and you have to get it where it's 90 degrees to the trailer. You have to kind of wiggle it a little bit, and then that J track here, that hook and the J hook is clear, and I can lift it up now. And that's how you get these things out. And now for the final piece, this is how you hook it back into the track to store them up front out of the way. These are heavy. They're probably, I'm guessing, 60 pounds each. And so you have to manhandle it until that J goes into the track. And then you carefully let it down, and it usually sticks part way. This one's not going to stick. And you set it down just like that. So this is how they look lined up side by side. Have them at the front of the step of the lower part of the deck, as much out of the way as I can. But you can see here the upper deck is 12 feet long. And so then with 2 risers, each riser is able to hold 10,000 pound workload. So you can, I don't think that ever focused, but it'll hold 10,000 pounds. So depending on how long your freight and how heavy your freight is, you can put those up anywhere down the length of the trailer and give yourself a much longer, stable platform to load your freight onto. So that's it. Everything's in place, and those are ready to ride. Tarps are buttoned down. Now what's left is put away chains and binders, and this will be done. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was at least informative. The red-green philosophy: if the women don't find you handsome, at least they find you handy.